First contact and infiltration. The UES Dauntless hung in the void between Jupiter and Saturn, a testament to human engineering and determination. At nearly 2 kilometers long, the warship represented humanity's most advanced deep space vessel, equipped with experimental fusion drives and railgun batteries capable of accelerating projectiles to a significant fraction of light speed. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the command deck, her weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays. "Status report," she said, scanning the latest data from the ship's sensors. Lieutenant Commander Wei appeared at her side, tablet in hand. "All systems nominal, Captain. The Jupiter mining colonies have uploaded their quarterly payload. We're scheduled to break orbit in 6 hours." Helena nodded, her dark eyes never leaving the displays. 20 years in the Solar Defense Force had taught her to trust her instincts, and something felt wrong today. The Dauntless served as both a military vessel and humanity's most valuable transport ship, ferrying rare materials from the outer colonies to Earth. Its current cargo, isotopes crucial for Earth's fusion reactors, made it the most valuable target in the solar system. "Captain," called the sensor officer, her voice tight with tension. "We're detecting an anomaly at bearing 047, range 300,000 kilometers. Define anomaly." Elena replied, straightening her uniform jacket. "Unknown signature, ma'am. It's like nothing in our database. The mass readings are inconsistent with its apparent size." Elena's breath caught in her throat. Humanity had been alone in the solar system for all of recorded history. The possibility of first contact had been theorized but never realized. Full sensor sweep. Alert status yellow. "I want weapons on standby, but not active," she ordered, moving to the central tactical display. "Let's not appear hostile if we have visitors." The anomaly resolved into a vessel of impossible dimensions, a crystalline structure that seemed to bend light around it, roughly 1/4 the size of the Dauntless, but registering a mass nearly 3 times greater. No visible propulsion systems, no apparent weapons arrays. "They're hailing us, Captain," the communications officer reported, disbelief evident in his voice. In perfect English. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing the humanoid figure with translucent skin that pulsed with internal bioluminescence. Its features were almost human except for eyes that were solid orbs of swirling silver. "Greetings, vessel of Earth," the being said, its voice melodic and soothing. "I am emissary Threll of the Collective. We come in peace and with great interest in your species." Elena stepped forward, conscious that she represented all of humanity in this historic moment. "I am Captain Alina Reyes of the United Earth ship Dauntless. We welcome peaceful contact." The alien skin pulsed with blue light. "Captain Reyes, we have observed your civilization for some time. Your technological development is unique. We request permission to send a small delegation aboard your vessel for cultural and scientific exchange." Warning bells sounded in Elena's mind, but refusing first contact without provocation could have dire consequences for Earth's future. "We would be honored to host your delegation, Emissary Threll. However, certain areas of our vessel remain restricted." "Of course," Threll replied with what appeared to be a smile. "We understand security protocols. We seek only knowledge and friendship." 6 hours later, the delegation arrived. 4 beings similar to Threll, each carrying what appeared to be translucent tablets. Security Chief Mateo Rodriguez watched them with undisguised suspicion as they glided through the airlock. "Welcome aboard the Dauntless," Elena said formally. "This is my first officer, Commander Amara Okafor, and Security Chief Rodriguez." The lead alien bowed slightly. "I am Researcher Vex. These are my colleagues Nara, Kelth, and Zuri. We are deeply grateful for this opportunity." "Commander Okafor will escort you on your tour," Elena said. "Please understand that while we value this exchange, certain systems and areas remain classified." "Perfectly understandable, Captain," Vex replied. "We have similar protocols ourselves." As the delegation departed with Amara, Matteo leaned closer to Elena. I don't like this, Captain. Their technology is centuries beyond ours. What could they possibly learn from us? Elena watched the aliens glide down the corridor, their movements unnaturally fluid. That's exactly what I've been asking myself, Chief. The tour proceeded without incident. The aliens showed particular interest in the crew quarters, medical facilities, and engineering sections. They asked numerous questions about human biology, social structures, and technology, all while making notes on their tablets. Your species relies heavily on manual operation. Vex observed as they watched engineers maintaining the fusion drive. Our vessels are largely automated. Amara nodded. We found that human ingenuity in crisis situations often outperforms pre-programmed responses. Fascinating, Vex replied. A biological advantage, perhaps. In the mess hall, the aliens observed the crew's interactions with evident curiosity. You form social bonds beyond functional necessity, Nara noted. This appears inefficient yet strengthening. That's what makes us human, Amara replied. We're stronger together than apart. As the tour continued, crew members reported unusual system glitches. Communications dropped momentarily. Sensor ghosts appeared and vanished, and power fluctuations rippled through non-essential systems. Maintenance crews found nothing concrete, but suspicion grew. On the second day of the aliens' visit, Dr. Sophia Lin, the ship's chief medical officer, requested an urgent meeting with the captain. They're scanning us, Elena, Sophia said, her voice hushed despite being in the captain's private quarters. Every time they pass a crew member, their tablets emit a focused energy pattern. I detected it when they visited medical. Elena frowned. To what end? I don't know, but crewman Wallace collapsed shortly after being scanned. His cellular structure showed signs of manipulation. I stabilized him, but something's happening on a molecular level that I can't explain. Elena's communicator chimed. Captain, came Matteo's tense voice. We have a situation in engineering. You need to see this. When Elena arrived, she found Matteo standing over the body of engineer third-class Patel. The young woman's skin had turned gray, with glowing blue veins visible beneath the surface. What happened? Elena demanded. She was working alone on the secondary cooling system, Matteo reported. Security footage shows researcher Kelth speaking with her just before this occurred. The alien touched her hand briefly, then left. 20 minutes later, another engineer found her like this. Dr. Lin scanned the body, her expression grim. Same pattern as Wallace, but far more advanced. Her cellular structure is being rewritten. Quarantine this section, Elena ordered. Where are our guests now? Guest quarters, supposedly, Matteo replied. But internal sensors show anomalous readings throughout the ship. I can't get a clear fix on their positions. Elena tapped her communicator. Bridge, this is the captain. Lockdown protocols. Authorization Rise Alpha 7. No one enters or leaves any section without my direct approval. She turned to Matteo. Assemble a security team. We're going to have a frank conversation with our visitors. But when they reached the guest quarters, they found only empty rooms. The aliens' tablets sat on tables, but the devices were now inert crystals. Ship-wide scans revealed nothing. Captain, called the sensor officer over the communicator. Their ship is powering up. Energy readings off the charts. Elena raced to the bridge, arriving just in time to see the alien vessel shimmer and vanish from sensors. Did they leave? She demanded. Negative, Captain, replied the sensor officer. The ship disappeared, but I detected an energy pulse transferring to our vessel before it vanished. The main lights flickered and died, plunging the Dauntless into darkness before emergency systems engage. Red warning indicators flashed across every console. Multiple system failures, reported the operations officer. Life support compromised on decks 7 through 12. Hull integrity breaches detected in the cargo hold. Elena's blood ran cold as the realization hit her. They never left. They're still aboard, and they're not here for cultural exchange. Through the viewport, Elena watched as the stars seemed to bend and stretch. The Dauntless lurched violently, throwing crew members to the floor. "What's happening?" she shouted. The navigation officer stared at her console in disbelief. "Captain, we're accelerating. Something's engaging our drives at 200% rated capacity. At this trajectory, we're heading directly toward Earth. Humanity's last stand." The Dauntless hurtled through space toward Earth, its fusion drives pushed beyond safety parameters. Captain Elena Reyes gripped the edge of the tactical console as another shudder ran through the massive warship. "Engineering reports critical overload in progress. Lieutenant Commander," we reported, blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. "Chief Engineer Volkov says we have maybe 20 minutes before the containment field fails." "And if that happens?" Elena asked, though she already knew the answer. "Total ship destruction," White replied grimly. "And at our current velocity and trajectory, the resulting explosion would devastate Earth's northern hemisphere." Elena nodded, the weight of command never heavier on her shoulders. "Where are our guests?" "Security teams report encounters throughout the ship," Security Chief Rodriguez said, checking his tactical tablet. "They're different now. They've shed their humanoid forms. They appear to be some kind of crystalline entities capable of interfacing directly with our systems." Dr. Lin's voice came over the comm channel. "Captain, I've completed my analysis. The crew members who were touched by the aliens are undergoing a transformation. Their cellular structure is being converted into something similar to the aliens themselves, a silicon-based crystalline matrix that can conduct and store massive amounts of energy. They're turning our people into batteries," Elena realized. "Weapons, maybe. But why attack us? Why head for Earth?" The main view screen flickered to life, showing emissary Threll. The being no longer maintained its humanoid appearance. Instead, a pulsing crystalline structure hovered before the camera, its core swirling with the same silver as Threll's eyes had been. "Captain Reyes," the entity said, its voice now overlaid with harmonic tones, "your resistance is unnecessary and inefficient." "You lied about your intentions," Elena replied, her voice steady despite her rage. "You've attacked my crew and seized my ship." "We did not lie," Thrall countered. "We seek knowledge, specifically knowledge of how biological entities respond under extreme duress. Your species has remarkable adaptability. We have studied many species across many galaxies, but humans show unique potential." "Potential for what?" "Conversion," Thrall replied simply. "Most species' molecular structures collapse under transformation. Humans, however, retain coherence longer and demonstrate extraordinary resistance. Your planet contains billions of test subjects. The data will be invaluable." Elena's hands clenched into fists. "We will not be your lab rats." "You misunderstand, Captain. You already are. This experiment began the moment we boarded your vessel." The screen went dark, leaving Elena and her bridge crew in stunned silence. "Options," she demanded, looking around at her officers. "We can't regain control of the primary systems," Way reported. "They've locked us out completely." "What about the emergency core ejection?" Elena asked. Chief Engineer Volkov's voice crackled over the comm. "Negative, Captain. Those systems are compromised too. However," he hesitated, "there is one possibility. The manual override in the core chamber itself. If someone physically activates it, we could eject the fusion core." "That would leave us dead in space," Elena noted. "Yes," Volkov agreed, "but it would prevent us from being used as a weapon against Earth." Elena nodded. "Make the preparations. I'm coming down." "Captain," Meteo objected, "let me go. The radiation levels in the core chamber are already fatal," Elena finished for him. "I know, but this is my ship, my responsibility." She surveyed her bridge crew. "Commander Way, you have the con. Your orders are to get as many survivors off this ship as possible once the core is ejected. The emergency beacons should bring help within a day." "Understood, Captain," Wei replied, standing straighter. It's been an honor. Elena moved toward the turbolift, but Matteo stepped in front of her. You'll need protection getting to engineering. The aliens are concentrated along that route. 10 minutes later, Elena and a security team fought their way through Deck 12. The aliens had transformed this section into something unrecognizable. Crystalline growths extended from the walls and floor, pulsing with energy. Worse were the half-transformed crew members, their bodies partially crystallized, moving jerkily as if controlled by external forces. We can't help them, Dr. Lin had explained before they left. The process is irreversible once it reaches this stage. The security team used focused EMP grenades, normally reserved for disabling enemy electronics, which temporarily disrupted the crystalline structures. 2 security officers fell during the advance, their bodies immediately encased in rapidly growing crystal formations. Almost there, Matteo said as they approached engineering. The core chamber is just ahead. They entered to find Chief Engineer Volkov and his remaining team barricaded behind overturned equipment. Crystalline growths covered most of the walls, pulsing in rhythm with the overtaxed fusion core. The override is there. Volkov pointed to a manual station near the core itself. But the radiation levels are already beyond survivable limits. The suit might give you 5 minutes at most. Elena donned the radiation suit while Matteo explained the plan to his remaining officers. Once the captain activates the override, we have 3 minutes to reach the escape pods. The aliens seem to be concentrating their forces at critical junctions, so expect heavy resistance. Chief, Elena said, sealing her helmet. Get your people out. That's an order. Volkov nodded grimly. Good luck, Captain. Elena entered the core chamber alone, the Geiger counter in her suit immediately screaming in warning. The fusion reactor, normally a controlled blue glow, now pulsed an angry white, containment fields visibly fluctuating. At the override station, she found researcher Vex waiting, now a towering crystalline structure with only a suggestion of its former humanoid shape. Your actions are futile, it said, voice resonating through the chamber. Even if you eject the core, enough of your crew has been converted to power our needs. Maybe, Elena replied, advancing steadily. But you won't get Earth. Others will come, Vex stated. Your species has been marked. The collective spans galaxies. Then we'll fight them too, Elena said, reaching for the override controls. Crystal spikes shot from Vex's form, penetrating Elena's suit and shoulder. She gasped in pain, but continued reaching for the controls. Your biological limitations doom you, Vex said. Already your cells begin conversion. Elena felt a burning sensation spreading from her wound, saw blue luminescence beginning to crawl beneath her skin. With a final surge of effort, she slammed her hand down on the override and twisted the manual release. Warning, core ejection sequence initiated. 3 minutes to ejection, announced the computer. Vex's crystalline form vibrated in what might have been anger. You cannot stop evolution, human. Watch me, Elena growled, drawing her sidearm. The high-energy plasma weapon, designed to cut through ship bulkheads in emergencies, discharged directly into Vex's central mass. The crystalline being shattered, fragments scattering across the chamber floor. But Elena knew it wasn't truly dead. These beings existed as energy as much as matter. As the countdown continued, Elena felt her strength fading. The crystalline infection spread rapidly up her arm and across her chest. With grim determination, she used her remaining strength to barricade the chamber door. No one else would enter, and she would not leave. Through the observation window, she saw Matteo leading the surviving engineering team toward the escape pods. He paused. Looking back at her, Elena managed to raise her hand in a final salute before the pain became too intense. Core ejection in 10 seconds, the computer announced. Elena collapsed against the control panel, her vision blurring as blue light pulsed beneath her skin. The ship shuddered violently as explosive bolts fired, separating the fusion core from the Dauntless. The The deceleration threw her against the wall. Through failing vision, she watched the ejected core, still containing several alien entities, tumble away from the ship before detonating in a blinding flash. The Dauntless, now powerless, drifted silently. Emergency systems activated, returning minimal life support to surviving sections. In the darkness of the core chamber, Elena fought the crystalline transformation consuming her body. The aliens had miscalculated human resilience, not in physical terms, but in will. As the infection reached her heart, Elena focused on one thought: resistance. Days later, a rescue vessel from Earth found the Dauntless adrift. Of the 412 crew members, only 89 survived, led by acting Captain Wei and Security Chief Rodriguez. They reported the full details of the alien encounter and the captain's sacrifice. When the recovery team finally breached the sealed core chamber, they found something unexpected. Where Captain Elena Reyes had fallen stood a humanoid crystalline structure, different from the alien formations. While the alien crystals had been jagged and chaotic, this formation was ordered and symmetrical, with what appeared to be a human face serene in repose. More surprising was the data core clutched in its crystalline hands, containing complete information about the aliens, their weaknesses, and their intentions. Somehow, Elena had not merely resisted the transformation but had reversed it, using the aliens' own technology against them. As Matteo stood before the crystalline form of his captain, he noticed something extraordinary. Within the translucent structure, a faint, rhythmic pulse, like a human heartbeat. "Captain," he whispered in disbelief. The crystal formation remained still, but the data core in its hands pulsed once with blue light. 1 month later, as Earth prepared its defenses against the possibility of further alien incursions, scientists continued to study the crystalline entity that had once been Captain Elena Reyes. They discovered that it was slowly changing, evolving into something neither human nor alien, something new. And deep within the crystal, a consciousness remained, watching and waiting. The aliens had sought to convert humanity into weapons. Instead, they had created the first of humanity's new defenders, beings capable of matching the collective's technology while retaining human determination, creativity, and self-sacrifice. Only one being had made it out of the encounter alive, neither fully human nor alien, and when the collective eventually returned in force, they would find not an easy conquest, but a transformed humanity ready to defend its existence. The last entry in the official U.S. Dauntless incident report simply read, "Captain Elena Reyes, presumed deceased. Status: evolving."